Chapter 10, Part 4. Chapter 10, Part 4, page 347. Progressive Outcomes of Resistance Training. Peterson published an important meta-analysis that provides guidance for resistance training variables among athletes. A total of 37 studies were reviewed, including athletes of various ages, from both genders, participating in various sports. The resistance training programs in each study were coded for volume, intensity, and frequency of training. The greatest improvements in strength were found with training frequency of 2 days per week at an average training intensity of 85% of their 1 rep max. Optimal volume, coded as the numbers of sets per muscle group per workout, was identified to be 8 sets. These findings support the need for athletes to be trained appropriately according to the OPT model. Power. Power is the ability to generate the greatest possible force in the shortest amount of time. Power is also defined by the neuromuscular system's ability to increase the rate of force production through increased motor unit activation, synchronization, and rate coding. Rate coding is the speed at which the motor units are activated. Rate coding is the speed at which the motor units are activated. Power definition: the ability to generate force as quickly as possible. Force times speed equals power. For an elite athlete wishing to maximize athletic power, a high degree of strength must be attained to fully realize the potential of the power developed. Numerous studies suggest that once an athlete can squat 2 times his or her body weight, he or she can express higher power outputs than one who cannot. This calls to attention the importance of building a solid strength foundation to get the most benefit from power training. As power is the product of force times velocity, power can be enhanced through an increase in either force or velocity. The force-velocity curve dictates that the higher the load, the slower the speed of movement, and conversely, the lower the load, the faster the speed of movement. To maximize training, both heavy and light loads must be moved as fast as possible to create the adaptation of power. Hence, using both training methods in superset fashion may create the necessary adaptations to enhance the body's ability to recruit a large number of motor units and increase the rate, speed of activation. Early isokinetic work underscored the importance of speed of exercise, showing that training performed at high speeds led to better performance at the training speed and all movement speeds below the training speed. If an athlete weighs 193 pounds, they should be able to squat 386 pounds to begin reaching high levels of power output. Resistance training, page 348. Resistance training systems. It is important to have an understanding of multiple training systems that can work in concert with the OPT model and allow for proper management of volume, intensity, velocity, recovery, exercise prescription, neurological challenge, and progression of complex multiplanar resistant movements. Sports performance professionals must adapt to the time provided, equipment available, and physical capabilities of the athlete while properly implementing a safe, productive, and individualized training program, which utilizes the appropriate resistance system leading to goal attainment. The following resistance training method provide flexible programming within the context of the OPT model. Resistance training system explained. The single set. As the name suggests, the single set system uses one set of each exercise. Each set usually consists of 8 to 12 repetitions of each exercise at a controlled tempo. It is usually recommended this system be performed 2 times a week in order to promote sufficient development and maintenance of muscle mass. The multiple set system. The multiple set system, on the other hand, consists of performing multiple sets for each exercise. The resistance, sets, and repetitions performed can be selected according to the goals and needs of the clients. Multiple set training can be appropriate for both novice and advanced athletes. Superset. The superset implements a couple of exercises performed in a rapid succession. This system features the use of independent subsystems with similar principles, namely compound set and tri-set systems. Compound sets involve the performance of 2 exercises for antagonistic muscles. For example, an athlete may perform a set of bench press followed by a cable row, chest and back. Working opposing musculature allows for better recovery before the start of another set. Trisets use 3 exercises in rapid succession for same muscle group or body part. For example, a chest superset might be an incline dumbbell press, cable chest press, and ball push-up, all in succession. Typically, supersetting involves 8 to 12 repetitions, with no rest between sets or exercises. However, any number of repetitions can be employed. The superset system is popular among bodybuilders and may be beneficial for muscular hypertrophy and muscular endurance. Training athletes provides an opportunity to specialize the superset training by implementing post-activation potential, which is the increase of force exerted by the muscle due to previous activation. Training athletes provides an opportunity to specialize the superset training by implementing post-activation potential, which is the increase of force exerted by muscle due to previous activation. The effectiveness of these systems are predicated on volume, rest between sets, and recovery time between workouts. In addition, Galvo and Taff state that single and multiple set systems allow for teaching and adaptation, which can be beneficial for short and long-term goals. The PAP theory is based on the notion that contractile history of muscle guides the mechanical performance of later muscle contractions. The PAP theory is based on the notion that contractile history of muscle guides the mechanical performance of later muscle contraction. Therefore, the sports performance professional can use supersets in a manner that allows for a strengthening exercise combined with a power application exercise, that is, back squats with box jumps or deadlifts with hurdle or box jumps. The PAP theory can be applied to the OPT model, utilizing tri-set system approach through activation, strengthening, power. An example of tri-set system is glute activation, clams, rear leg elevated goblet squat, and single leg hurdle hops. Recall high intensity interval training. Recall that high intensity interval training is a brief burst of vigorous exercise separated by periods of rest or recovery. The central purpose of HIIT in resistance training is to provide a greater volume of higher intensity exercises during a workout. HIIT is proven to have a better metabolic adaptation than moderate intensity continuous training, leading to its rise in popularity when an athlete has limited time. The Wingate test model is an ideal application of HIIT within resistance training applications. Utilizing the 4 to 6 30-second all-out bouts of effort, 85 to 90% of heart rate reserve, followed by 4 minutes of recovery result in 2 to 3 minutes of maximum effort during a 15 to 30 minute rest period. Utilizing the 4 to 6 30-second all-out bouts of effort, 85 to 90% heart rate reserve, followed by 4 minutes of recovery results in 2 to 3 minutes of maximum effort during a 15 to 30 minute period. It has been noted that the model for HIIT is extreme and too rigorous for beginners. However, it can be modified and adapted for both novice and experienced athletes. Gasser and Nagdi present one of the more common modifications made to HIIT, which has been termed low volume, characterized by 1 to 4 minute bouts of exercise, 60 to 75% of your heart rate max, with active recovery, which is probably 40 to 50% of your heart rate max, using a 1-to-1 work-rest ratio that results in 10 minutes of physical exertion during a 20-minute session. A split routine. One of the most common uses of split routine is the traditional model used by athletes who primarily want to gain mass. This method isolates one body part and works it. This method isolates one body part and works it in an effort to maximize hypertrophy. Although segregating the body parts and working them on different days provides a centralized focus and a beneficial recovery pattern, it is critical to have additional split routines that can be applied to athletes with a motivation beyond mass building. One such method concentrates on the split being predicated on anterior and posterior muscle focus. Cook and colleagues state a majority of current programs are designed to develop power and strength for acceleration. Difficulty arises when the muscles that help decelerate the force produced are neglected. Beck and et al. State that most athletes are required to stabilize, accelerate, decelerate, and change direction. Therefore, if more force or velocity is created than the body can contain, the risk of injury is increased significantly. Applying this notion to a traditional model would require the following modifications: Monday, anterior; Tuesday, posterior; Wednesday would be a rest day; Thursday, anterior; Friday, posterior. Vertical loading is a resistance training system used by NASM and follows the OPT model. It progresses a workout vertically down the template by alternating body parts trained from set to set. Looking at the OPT model, the resistance training section involves the following exercises. Vertical loading, total body, chest, back, shoulders, bicep, triceps, and legs. In vertical loading, I don't even care about this. Uh,